Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Oumaima. Today's video I will be going through the 2023 Goodreads Choice Awards. I know that Goodreads Choice Awards is basically popularity contest, but it's fun to see the nominees and to see if I have read any 2023 releases and if they are nominated here. So let's just get started. I'm gonna start out with fiction because I think it's the most I have read. Burnham Wood, I have never heard of this book. And then we have Big Swiss. I have heard about it, I have seen people speak about it, but I have not picked it up. I have read Yellow Face, which I gave it, I think, 4 stars. It was good, but not to the level that I'm used with R.F. Kong. And then we have Wellness by Nathan Hill, which I have not heard of any. I haven't even heard of this book. It has only 6,000 ratings, which is not a lot. Let's compare it to Goodreads. Yellow Face has 199,000 ratings, so that makes sense why I heard of the other one and not the other. Let's see what else we have. We have Blackouts. Again, never heard of this book. Usually I know most of these books. Hello Beautiful, I have seen it, but I have not read it. Shark Heart, again, I have seen it, but I have not read it. Evil Eye, I have seen it, but I have not read it. The Wishing Game. So basically, all of these books I have never heard of. Mama is on my TBR, but I have not read it yet. So basically, in this section, the only book I have read is Yellow Face. So I think I'm gonna vote for it, even though it's not fair because I have not read any of these books. But this choice award is not fair anyway. So let's just vote for this one. Next category we have is Best Historical Fiction. I don't think I have read any book from this section. I have heard of Wayward. I did not know it's historical fiction. I thought it's fantasy. Or maybe it is the mix between fantasy and historical fiction. I have not read it. The Keeper of Hidden Books is a book that I have seen and I'm interested in. But I have not read it yet, so that's the point. The next book is... I have seen this one. I think it was in the Book of the Month book. I've seen a lot of ads of this book. What else did I read? I have not read a single book in this book. This one is on my TBR. I have read the what's it called? The synopsis. It sounds interesting. It's on my TBR. I have not gotten around to it yet. Let's move on to mystery and thriller, and hopefully I have better chance in this section. Which books I have read? I have read Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. It's like a really good book. The next one, I think that's all I have read. Again, only one book in this. I want to read Happiness Falls by Angie Kim because I have read her previous book. I don't remember what it's called. I put it on the screen. It was one of my favorite books of the year that I read it in. So it's not fair, I know, but I'm gonna vote for Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers because I love this book so much and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It's a cozy mystery, not really thrilling. It's a cozy mystery of this old woman who is convinced that there's a murder in her shop, and so she takes it upon herself to, figure out this murder, and at the same time it's kind of like a fun family and it's really sweet. The next category is Best Romance. I have read a lot of romance this year, but none of them I think are published in 2023. So let's see what Wildfire. This is the sequel to the book with the the ice thing. I don't know. I put it on the screen again. I'm interested in this book. I have not read the first one. I will read the first one and probably the second one. I have heard of the 7-Year Slip. You Again is on my TBR. I have read Happy Place. Yes, I loved it. Okay, Yours Truly, I did not know it was published in this year. It's definitely my vote. I have read Happy Place, Yours Truly, and Meet Me at the Lake. Meet Me at the Lake is the worst book I've ever read. The worst romance I've ever read this year. It was such a letdown. Oh, I also read Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood, but this one is my least favorite of Ali Hazelwood's books. So I have read 1, 2, 3, 4. I have read 4 out of the nominees. So I'm gonna vote for Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I think in this section Emily Henry is gonna win. She always wins whenever she has a book out. Now moving on to the next category, best romantasy. I do not read romantasy. I prefer my fantasy to have more fantasy and romance to be like a subplot, like not very heavy on the plot. But I think it's in romantasy, like the romance is the main thing, and then the fantasy is the secondary thing, which is not my favorite. If I want romance, I'm reading contemporary, and if I want fantasy, then I want fantasy, not romance. I have heard of The Assistant to the Villain. Leonie have read it, and she did not say she did not like it, so I'm not really inclined to pick it up. What else have I? The Ashes of the Star, Cursed King. I have heard of this book. Not interested in picking it up. Okay, they have Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I don't know why. Well, I know why, it's popularity context. But I'm definitely not voting for this book. I have not read any of these books, and even if I have read it, I would not vote for an author who supports Zionism. And no, just I have no interest in reading this book at all. Moving on to the other category, this is fantasy. I haven't read that many fantasy this year. For some reason, last year and this year, my fantasy reading has kind of dwindled for some reason. Although I really enjoy fantasy, the few fantasy that I have read this year, I really like them, but I just don't pick them up. I think it's because they're kind of like a commitment, because usually fantasy is like a big series or like a really big book, and I just don't have the mental capacity for that commitment right now. We have The Adventures of Amina As-Sarafi. I'm really interested in reading this book. I've heard great things about it. The Last Tale of the Farmer Bride, again, also have heard great things about it. Jennifer Saint Atlanta, I have read, which book is it? Ariadne by her. I have bought the second book which she came out with. I think it's called Electra, but I have not read Atalanta. Bookshops and Bone Dust. Okay, this book is not even out yet, I think. When does this book come out? I think it's out in this month, I think. Yeah, I forgot about this book. I want to read it, but I have not read it yet. That's why I said it's not even out yet, because in my mind we're not in November, but we are, I guess. Victory City, I have started it and DNF'd it. The Fragile Threads of Power, I want to read it, but I want to reread the original trilogy first, because I have read the first book a while ago and I did not like it and I didn't continue, but I want to reread it because my tastes have changed a lot, and hopefully this time I will like it so that I can continue with this series. Day of Fallen Knights, I have read the first book, not the second one. Hellbent is on my TBR after I read the first one, because I have not read the first one. So in this category, I have not read anything. Most of them are on my TBR. None of them I have read them. Science fiction. Okay, science fiction is a category that I have not read a lot of this year. And usually I really like science fiction. I don't know what is happening to me this year. Let's see if there are any books that I recognize. Children of Memory. I recognize this book. I have not read this book. This is the third book in some series that starts with Children of Time, I think. Another Zionist sympathizer, we have Pierce Brown over here. Hopefully he does not win. We don't want Zionist sympathizers to win. This one is on my TBR. Starter Villain by John Scalzi. This is the best book cover I've ever seen. I want to read this book. Again, no, I have not read any of these books. Most of them are on my TBR. Horror next. I do not think I have read many books in horror. So far, I think the only the category that I have read a lot of is romance, which is surprising. Again, most of these books are on my TBR. Have not read any of them. Some of these books I haven't even heard of. This is what section is this? This is young adult fantasy and science fiction. I don't read that. Oh yes, I have That was a lie. I have read A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. It was not my favorite. The Stolen Heir is on my TBR. I mean, I have read this one book, but I don't want to vote for it because I don't think it's the best book ever. I haven't read the other ones to compare, but I'm just not voting for this section, this category, I mean. Young adult fiction. I don't think I have read any of these books. I don't really pick up young adult fiction anymore. Okay, that was also a lie because I have read Highly Suspicious and Fairly Cute. It was cute, as the name suggests, but it was not, because usually I prefer adult romance rather than young adult romance. One of Us is back. Okay, I did not know that this series is still going on. This is by One of Us is Lying, yes. I mean, the series that One of Us is Lying. I have read the first one of such many years ago, like in 2016 or 2017. And since then I haven't picked up the other books. Again, I'm not going to vote for the book by Talia Hibbert because although I enjoyed it, I don't think it's the best. Although I have not read all of these books, it's not the best out of them. It was like a 3 stars that I gave it. It's not 5 stars. Debut novel. We have 2 books that are in my TBR, Mame and Shark Heart. Wayward. I have not read any of these books. Okay, this is kind of not really helpful because most of these books I have not read them. Usually by this time when I check these the nominees, I have read most of these books that are in there, but this year, okay, I have never, I'm checking best nonfiction right now, but I see the Cobalt's Red, How the Blood of Congo Powers Our Lives, especially because of what's happening currently in the Congo. I'm really interested in learning about this, more about this, so I'm gonna add it to my TBR. Hidden Potential, The Science of Achieving Greater Things. I'm not really into this kind of things. Ultra Processed People, The Science Behind Food. Again, not really interested in this. Doppelganger Opinions. I have not read any of these nonfiction nominees, but I'm really interested in reading Cobalt's Red, so I will read it and I will let you know probably next year. Next one is Memoir and Biography. Again, I don't think I have read that many or any. Again, Britney Spears, the one about Britney Spears is on my TBR. All of these people I'm not really interested in to learn about them, honestly, because I don't really care. Even Britney Spears, I'm not really that interested in her life, but I just want to know because a lot of people are talking about this book. Next one is History and Biography. Again, I haven't read that many of these books in here. Let's see if I can find something that I have read or something that I'm probably interested in that I can add to my TBR and hopefully read some other time. Again, nothing. Humor, I never read anything about humor, but let's just take a look. Yep, nothing. So I think I've only voted for 3 categories: fiction, romance, and maybe something else. Or just, I think I only voted for 2 categories: fiction and romance. So this is not really the best thing because I have not talked about many of these books because I haven't heard of most of them. So this is it. I went through all the categories of this year's nominees, and I think I've only voted for 2 categories: romance and fiction, which is surprisingly not a lot. So I mean, I've at least added books to my TBR that I'm really interested in, and hopefully by next year I would have better chance of reading more books that I nominated. And again, this is all, and let me know what books you have voted for if you have voted for this. And as always, I see you next time in another video. Bye.